Hey guys, so in this video we're going to work on skinning this cute little lizard guy with all of these different colors here. So I'm going to also do the rigging and animation within this video, so if you want to skip to the end where we do skins specifically, I've put a timestamp on the screen for you. Otherwise, let's get started. So if we import the art data like I've just done, you'll see that in the slots, we already have all of our attachments loaded up into each of the slots. So we have a blue lizard, an orange lizard, a pink lizard, and a purple lizard to work with. So we're going to make it so that way this rig can be usable for all different colored lizards. And then we'll be able to swap between them using skins. So I'm going to just get started by creating a quick rig for this guy. So we'll make a bone there. I'm going to rotate it towards the flow of his body. And then we can just make a couple of body bones, maybe a neck here and a head bone. Control select here. We're going to make a little tongue. We can select the chest bone and make an arm. And I'm going to turn this bone chain into an IK constraint. Click there, and I'll do arm left. And then we'll do the same over here. We will go, new IK constraint on this arm. So we'll go arm right. We'll click here, make an IK as well here. So we'll go new IK, leg left. And then on this one, we'll go new IK, leg right. Let's add some feet bones coming off of these IK bones. And if you want to, you could always add bones and mesh for the little fingers if you want to do, but I'm going to skip that for the sake of the demo. And then we can add a nice quick bone chain for the tail here. Cool. So let's go ahead and rename all of these. So if we just go to our Find and Replace tool, we'll find body, replace it with tail. And we can do it on just a selected or tree selection, and that will get us the tails. And then we can leave the leg. Let's see. All of these other names are fairly okay. I'm going to rename head just so that one's easier to identify. And I think I'll do neck as well. And then also let's do, oh, no, the tongue's good. Okay, so that is our skeleton. So now we're going to start meshing this guy. So we are going to go into orange body. Let's check the mesh box and click edit mesh. We'll create a new one. And the head's not going to move so much, so I'm just going to put a little bit of information here at the neck where it's going to bend. I'll give it some information here, and then it's going to bend probably a lot more from the tail, so I'll give it a little bit more dense meshing down here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now let's make some mesh in between. So we're just going to kind of rough some stuff out. Just a little bit, kind of going in line with the vertices we've already got. But I'm not being too picky about it for now because, as I always say, I would rather refine this once we get to animate. Okay, and that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and open up our weights view and now bind these bones. So we'll go all of these bones. And that is going to be pretty good. So let's move on to the arms. Mesh, edit mesh, new. And we're just going to rough this out. I'm going to want a little bit more at the elbow. So I'm going to put a few more vertices here. And then let's put a little bit more here. And let's do the same for the hand and wrist area. And that might be good enough. Okay? Let's do the same on this side. Bind these to these bones. Let's also bind these ones to these bones. And now do the legs. Let's bind these to the leg. Do another mesh over here. And bind this one to these bones. And now all we have left to do is this tongue. Great, so now he is all rigged up and ready to go. He's got his little feet that he can move and all that kind of stuff. And so now we're gonna go and make a real quick animation for him. So let's do, I think I just want him to kind of move upward and then move downward. So I'm going to select his feet IKs, his little pelvis bone, and all of that is going to be keyed here. Let's move him up. And then let's move him, let's key the translation there so you can pause there. And then let's move him back down, copy this, back down to his normal position. So he's going to go up, and then he's going to go back down. I think I want the timing to be a little bit faster, so I'm going to do it maybe at 60 frames. That feels good. And let's also make him, I'm going to copy this and paste it at the end. So now he's going to go up, pause, down, pause. Okay, so let's have his feet move now. So we're going to have this foot here stay planted. So I'm going to copy 0 to 4. And then this one is going to keep going upward like that. And by 4, let's have it go up a little bit further. And that's going to be where it stops. So then we're going to copy 4. And we are going to go to, let's go to frame 8 for now. Let's paste 4 at 8. And let's see where we want this. This guy is going to move up here now. And then we're going to copy 8 and paste it at 12. And then we'll switch to the other one. So as that one's planted, that one's going to move up. So let's move it up further on 12. Then copy 12 to 16. And let's go back to this guy. So it's going to go up, up, up. And then now 16 should match 20. So let's copy 20 to 16. And then he's going to stay in place. So then he's going to have this little shuffle motion. Now let's do the same thing backwards. So we could actually just copy the frames here. We have 20 frames, so let's paste them at 80. And we are just going to reverse them and then put them in between frames 40 and 60. So now that's going to reverse it backwards. Oops, and it looks like I accidentally messed up my last frame. So let's copy 0 back to 80. Great. And now he's going to shuffle forward and then shuffle back. So let's do the same thing with his arms. So as this leg comes up, he's going to want to counterbalance. So let's have his hand here be the one that is planted. And then this one here will be the one that moves forward. So we can raise it up a little bit. Let's copy that to 8. And now this one is going to move up a little bit. Let's copy that one to 12. And now this one will move up a little bit. Copy it to 16. And then see, this one we want up a little bit more. Copy that to 16. And then this one, we'll need frame 20 to go to 16. Awesome. So same thing with this one. Let's copy these. We'll paste it at 100 this time so we don't mess up our last key. We can scale it on the reverse to still be 20 frames. And then let's move it over between, oops, that's still not 20 frames. There we go. Move it to 40 to 60. Excellent. So now he goes up and down. We could add a little bit of a tail flick if we wanted to. So maybe it like, let's key the rotation. Maybe it just kind of like goes any which way for now. Then we can copy 0 to 80. Okay, and then maybe there's a little bit of body motion, so we could do when he's coming this way, his body goes like this. And then going the other way, his body might rotate this way. Maybe just every other 4 frames, his body goes in the direction of his walk. It looks a little bit silly, but let's turn rotation off on his head and keep his head stable, and maybe that'll make it a little nicer. Then we can copy these, do the same thing. Let's just paste them over here and reverse them. And we'll move them to 40 and 60. So now he's got like this little body motion that goes along with it. Let's see. And then maybe we could add a little bit of tongue motion. Maybe it like does a little flick. Maybe when he stops, he flicks his tongue. And I think that will be good for now for an animation for us. We can even, let's just make an S curve on everything That might make it look a little bit nicer. Awesome. So now we have our animation. So let's reskin this guy. Okay, so back in setup mode, let's make the skins. So we're going to make a new skin. We're going to call it orange. And we're going to highlight all of these guys, all of our attachments for the orange one. We're going to go new skin placeholder. So now if we turn off our orange skin, our lizard disappears. So we have already made a skin. Awesome. So let's make the other ones. So let's go ahead and make our other skins. So we're going to go back to our skins section down here. We're going to go new. We're going to say blue. Let's do new skin purple. And then a new skin pink. Now let's toggle our orange skin back on. And we could do a situation actually where, let's say we have blue toggled on. If we wanted to move the blue leg into our placeholder, then it'll show up for that blue skin. And then we can toggle between orange and blue. But there's a more efficient way to do this, considering all of our different art pieces are the exact same shape. They just have a different color. So we're going to use linked meshes. And we are going to go through each of these attachments and say new linked mesh on all of them. Like so. And then we can go into our blue skin and let's move all of these guys now into our placeholders. So this is going to cause it to be an orange lizard right now, but all we have to do now is select all of these ones, go to find and replace orange with blue. And then we also want to make sure that we have the path selected. Click replace. And now we have a blue lizard. So let's move on to the pink and purple ones. So before we go back and duplicate the orange one, let me show you what happens when that happens. So if we go into the orange one and we duplicate this guy, we get a new attachment, but if you notice the icon, it's different. And that's because we have now just duplicated it and it's not a linked attachment. So we would have to, let's delete this one. We would have to go new linked mesh and have another linked mesh in that way. But a faster way that I like to do is if you go back to the blue skin, if you duplicate it here, it will duplicate a linked mesh. And that's going to be because our orange mesh is the mesh that all other meshes come from. So when you duplicate the original linked mesh, like the source linked mesh, that's going to just duplicate the attachment without a linked mesh. And then if you duplicate a mesh that is referencing something else, which you can see down here, we are referencing the orange skin and the orange body mesh. When you duplicate these, it will duplicate the linked mesh. So since I already know that I want to make 2 skins, I'm just going to duplicate twice on each of these just to save a little bit of time. And I'll duplicate this one more time, twice here and twice here. And then let's go into our pink skin. So then we can move all of these into these. And let's find and replace. We can go blue and change it to pink. And instead of tree selection, let's do current skin this time as a different option. And we can just replace. And now it's going to load up our pink skin. So let's go and do that one more time for our purple. We can go find, or we can move these into the placeholder first so that way they are visible. And then let's find blue and replace it with purple on our current skin. Replace. And look at that. Now we have a purple lizard, a pink lizard, orange, and blue. And so now you can see that that animation we made before is going to work with all of these different lizards. And then now you can control that within the game engine. So that's basically all there is to it, to a basic skin. Color swapping skins is stupid easy. I like